So today we are going to know about the octet rule. So octet rule is a very generalized rule in chemistry, and this is basically used for the atoms to form molecules, and it helps to basically draw the structures of the molecules. And basically the octet states that it must be having 8 electrons in its outermost shell to form the bonds. So it works really well for some atoms, while there are a few exceptions as well. So let's see by the help of examples. So basically we're having the hydrogen. um, yes, so basically we're having the hydrogen, and hydrogen contains 1 electron, while the chlorine, it contains 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So hydrogen requires one more electron to complete its outermost shell, while the chlorine requires one electron to complete its outermost shell to form the octet. So what's gonna happen, that because they both are non-metal, and they basically form the covalent bond, and in the covalent bond basically they share the electrons. So what's gonna happen, that here they are sharing these electrons in such a way that hydrogen fulfill its outermost shell, while the chlorine forms the octet. So that's how the HCl works. So now we see that the chlorine is having complete 8 electrons in its outermost shell, while the hydrogen is also fulfilling its 2 of the electrons. So that's how HCl works. So what happens when we are having 2 hydrogen atoms? So here they come close to each other in such a way that they share their electrons, and then they form hydrogen, and then they again form the pair with them, or they form the covalent bond with them. So they're forming the H2. So how about when the sodium and chlorine reacts with each other? Because sodium is actually the metal, while the chlorine is non-metal. So yes, so again we see that in sodium there is 1 electron in its outermost shell, and again the chlorine, it contains 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So what's gonna happen, that sodium loses its 1 electron, and it gives its 1 electron completely to the chlorine, and by losing its electron it gets the negative charge, it gets the positive charge, while the chlorine, after accepting this electron, it gets the negative charge. So again, sodium is containing the positive charge after losing its electron, while the chlorine gains the negative charge because it gains one electron. So the negative attracts the positive, and that's how they form the ionic bond. And that's how the elements form the bonding with each other. So basically octet rule helps to understand the bonding pattern between the two elements, especially when the both are non-metal, or when the one is metal and the other is non-metal. Like you can say that it helps to understand the concept of the covalent bond and the ionic bond, and it really helps to draw the structural representation of the molecules. So octet rule is the rule in which the element must possess the 8 electrons in an outermost shell, which helps to form the bonds and to understand the concept of bonding pattern between the two atoms to form the successful